Alright guys, well, new video. So I left you last time we were doing wiring. Most of that is done. We're kind of getting down to the nitty gritty. I went and bought some carburetor intake or inlet gaskets, a rad cap. I bought some radiator fix in a bottle. So see if I can do that. Hopefully get that fixed. The radiator's not mounted. I do have to bolt that in properly. So I'll do a bunch of screwing around with that. Maybe go through some of the plug wires. You guys gave me a hard time about that. We'll see if maybe I can get those a little more organized. Clean up a little bit more wiring. And the gas gauge isn't working. You know, I don't even know if I hooked it up underneath, so I'm going to crawl under there and see if it's even attached to the center, if I have a good ground, all those things. I got that wiper motor from my old man. I can just switch that over real quick, see if that makes a difference. Kind of going through a thing at a time here. I'd like to back this thing out and actually take it for a ride. Now that it has lights, it's legal. So, stay tuned, we'll see how the day goes. Alright, well, I got the car running. I dumped in this bottle of stuff there. Magic Goo. I managed to fix the fuel leak. I got the wiper motor in. It's kind of not overly happy. See it move a little bit there, so it's got a little bit of a hard spot. Everything's kind of smoking a little bit. I got my temperature gun out so I don't overheat it. But this is the stuff, you just shake it up and you dump it in the top of the radiator. And I guess it'll kind of mix its way in. So I'm supposed to let it run for 10 minutes. We'll see how far we get without a fan on it before it gets too hot, but well, give it a whirl. Well, that did not work. There's quite a few holes in there once you put the cap on. Actually get some pressure in there. It only got to about 180 degrees. Thermostat opened up and it started yakking everywhere. So that's a real bummer. I was hoping I wouldn't have to put a radiator in this thing because it's the core itself that's leaking. So I can't really solder up anything there like the tanks. So I guess I'll be looking around for a used one of those. But I'll let this cool off and focus on something in the back of the car. Well, this thing yacked its guts out, so that's a bummer. Anyways, I was working on the fuel tank and messing around with the ground and all that stuff. And check it out. Fuel gauge that works. Well, I assume it works anyways. It's not pegged on full, and it's got one jerry can of gas in it, so that's about a quarter tank, right? So I figured I fixed the fuel leak, botched the radiator, didn't get the wipers to work, but I got the gas gauge to work. So like, I got half the tasks, so that's pretty good. So I don't know, I'll probably start working on something else again. I'm sure I'll bring you guys back and show you. It's a little, car's beating me today. Alright, well, I'm in the car kind of messing around there. I've been working on the trim. So I got it kind of mostly on. I'm missing a few screws, so I'll do that some other time. I got the gas pedal in, so that's pretty cool. I ended up hooking up the neutral safety, so it's in park, cranks over, reverse, nothing, neutral, and then drive. So that's pretty sweet. Got that all going. So yeah, I got screws on the list to get. I was going to glue on, I got this brake pad, it's all kind of mangled up, so I was going to put a little silicone on there, glue it all together. The next thing I was doing, this car didn't come with any of these garnish moldings. I thought I had a bunch of spares, which I do. Unfortunately, they're all miscellaneous colors, for one, which kind of sucks. It actually has the back, it has these in it, which is nice. So I have two back doors. I actually got multiples of those. I only have a driver's door, so that's a pain. I'm gonna have to try and find a passenger door one. And I don't know, I hate painting stuff when just one thing is painted. It looks terrible. So I might just paint, put a little bit of that touch-up paint on there, see how it turns out, see what it looks like. Because I mean, it's green. I mean, this maroony color or whatever, it's gonna look terrible against the green. And see if I have some door panels. If not, I'll just put the door handles on and carry on from there. But the steering wheel is basically ready to go on, somewhat permanently. I mean, I can put it on, I just gotta make sure it's aligned to the wheels. Yeah, so today was a bit of a roller coaster up and down day. So I'm gonna call it for a night. I'm gonna go inside, have some supper. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be back tomorrow. Alright guys, well last night I left it pretty defeated. Put a few pictures on Instagram. You guys roasted me on that chemical I put in the rad, so I'm sure I'll hear it in the comments of this video as well. Anyways, things up on stands. It's got a pile of water in the transmission, so I just bought a pan kit. I'm gonna drop the pan, see what I can get out of there, make it as good as I can. I ended up ordering a radiator off eBay, just like an aluminum Chinese one for it's like 170 bucks. So hopefully I'll be here in the next week or so. But I'm gonna zip under there. I'll pop that pan off me. I'll spin under and show you guys what it looks like. I'm gonna try and half-ass it with just the front end up. Then I want to clean up in the garage a little bit. I want to back this thing out. I mean, I got that temporary insurance. I want to drive this thing. I want to get some gas in it, see what it's going to be like, see if it'll even make it around the block properly and legally, go through all the gears. And, yeah, I got to, you know, the junk off the ground. So that's what I'm doing next. So here we are under the car. It'll show up on camera, but it's nice and pink and foamy, so obviously there's a pile of water in there, so let it kind of drain down a little bit, bust this pan off, and hopefully it'll junk out. So real simple in these turbo 350s. Already got the gasket off, but pull it off, the gasket comes off. This one wasn't silicone, which is nice. I'll clean all that off. Two little bolts holding the filter, so I'll change that while I'm at it. Anyways, out here, pan's off. This is what it looks like, so it's obviously not proper transmission oil. And as I'm looking through it, there's like a leaf. I don't know what. So yeah, definitely it sat outside and got some junk in it. Might have been my fault. So I'll clean that all off. Yeah, get all the old fluid out, fill it up with new stuff, put the pan back on, new gasket, new filter, fill it up, and I should be good, hopefully. So here's the pan. I cleaned it all up. Put the new gasket on. I put a little bit of silicone around it. I don't actually think it needs it to seal it. The problem is this gasket kit came in this box. So obviously it was folded a bunch of times over. So it wants to, like it's got folds in it, so it wants to lift. And you're working on your back under the car. A few little dab of silicone holds it where you want it. Put a few bolts in, get started. And once you get it in, you just kind of do a crisscross pattern and you're good. I'll show you underneath here. So change that filter. Two little screws. This is the old filter here. And that's the new one. So I clean it all up with some parts cleaner. It's basically ready to go. I'll just kind of wipe off the rim one more time. And then that new pan's ready to go back on and be torqued up expertly. So, here we have it. The pan's installed. It's got the new gasket on there. New filter inside, a little bit of silicone's going out. Put the linkage back on, everything went good. Just kind of zipped it up. It went a little bit of a crisscross pattern, just kind of one hand to ratchet tight. It was super cheap, super easy service. I mean, it's a little messy. Pop it down. I think the gasket kit and filter was like $7. It's nothing. And then we fill it back up with fluid. And it worked out pretty good. You get to clean all the junk out, new filter in there. The transmission will be happy. So while I'm under here, I'll just double check there's nothing else I want to do. Then I'll drop this thing back down, fill it up with fluid, knock a few more things up top out, and then I want to go for a ride and get some gas in this thing from an actual gas station. Okay, car's full of fluid, everything's good there. I'm just charging the battery up. I ran the wire to the alternator. I don't know if it's charging or not. I ended up putting some fluid in the steering box. Anyways, I moved to 55. I'm gonna back this thing out and give it a quick bath, see what happens. well, there we go. Backed her out, shined her up. I'm thinking we're gonna go for a ride to get some gas under its own power for the first time in probably 30 years. So wish us luck. All 3 gears, speedometer works, gas gauge is going haywire, so it's obviously got a problem. I think we have signals and brake lights. So let's see if we can get some gas and then throw the non-existent keys to Dani.
And we still have the original handle.
It smells like burning.
Hasn't exploded yet.
We got the fire extinguisher in the back.
Yeah, someone was asking about it. There it is. Don't worry. We're safe. We appreciate all of your concern for our well-being.
Alright, changing plans. We got some gas, it overheated. Transmission wasn't shifting, so we had to go back home. Put a little more ATF in it.
Hi friends! I'm driving my car!
There's been a lot of sawing at the wheel. She's not quite used to the 6 turns lock to lock, so
I'm gonna be buff.
we'll see how this one goes. It's almost too quiet, it's not making any noise. Maybe I jinxed it. Well, we'll get on the road, we'll bring you back. So we're making progress. It's overheating pretty good. Well, I guess not even overheating, but it's
Smoking.
a little smoky at stoplights.
People are very nice though and tell us that it's smoking.
People sure do want us to know. So that's interesting. You'll see right here as we come to a stop. It's actually fogging up the window a little bit.
I can feel it.
It's like exfoliation. So there we go. That'll come up on camera or not. It's actually coming through the little spears. It looks kind of cool.
Spooky.
Yeah, it seems to be running decent though, so that's all that really matters.
And I'm pretty good at turning.
Yeah. Hey, you're nailing it. Hopefully this light goes fast so it doesn't melt down the side of the road, but I think we're making progress.
Woo, baby! Let her chill out a little bit. It did start kind of coming through the car as soon as I started turning, but
It's only at 160 degrees, it's fine.
but we made it to our destination.
Yeah.
And I didn't crash even though he thought I was about to for a second.
There were some dicey moments, yeah. I'll let it cool off a little bit, pop the cap off, and see if we make her home.
Maybe just go drink some of your parents' drinks.
Yeah. Target's territory a little bit in their place. All the Volkswagens.
Ooh, it's like spewed it all out. Look at that.
It's a few drops. Alright, well, cooled off, now we're headed home. Hopefully it'll make it, everything's good. So, radiator's on its way. Hopefully it'll be here next week or so, which is good. Did a few little things, like some trim and all that. I kind of like the steam, I don't know about you, but...
I don't like everyone telling me that my car is smoking.
People notice it, it's pretty sweet. It's like Halloween car or something like that. So.
Very spooky. I don't know if you can see that, but that's smoke coming through the
Yeah, we're fine.
cap. Hi friends! So, radiator, a new one's coming soon, so this will hopefully stop. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Bye!